Greetings, fellow alters. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series, Playing the Alters. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the details about this series, please use YouTube chapters. Welcome everybody to a new series, Playing the Alters. It's a dramatic sci-fi game that incorporates base building, survival, adventure, and a roller coaster story. You are the sole survivor of a space expedition, forced to make difficult choices, like cloning an alter version of yourself because a one-man mission has no chance of success. In this specific series, I'll be using Twitch integration instead of regular polling for the most part, and that's the only feedback I'll be incorporating, so no backseating and no spoilers, please. I'll be starting a new game and playing on standard difficulty, so standard economy and moderate action elements. And let's get going. So there's different difficulty levels, and I'm just leaving it all alone. And here we go.
How did I end up here? My whole life, all its ups and downs, led me to this place. Far from home, far from anyone I know. A journey whose route is unknown, and the destination out of sight. Was this path just a random sequence of events that I had to follow? Or was there ever another way? Now, heading for the unknown. I can't really tell. Is this the end of the road? Or is it yet another branching? That was a tough landing. Polsky here. Do you read me? Anyone? Nothing. I need to figure out what happened.
Well, that doesn't look good. We crashed. WSD to move, mouse to look. Pretty straightforward commands.
That's an emergency flare from my capsule. I should look out for those.
Hold shift to run, and we should be following the...
Hello? You read me? This is Jan Dolsky. I've landed safely, but I think my capsule went astray. Maybe the radio's broken.
If this reminds you a little Death Stranding, it does for me as well. Plumbable rocks are marked with a dot. Approach them and press E to climb. Now, I don't have a little womb on my tummy, so it's not Death Stranding. Plus, I'm Yondolski.
Oh, no, it's the captain. Shit. Deceased. What the hell? Not much I can do for her now. Oh, I gotta find the others. What happened? She didn't crash. The capsule's intact. Looks like she died inside of it. I don't get it. Mobile base. There it is. Olski here. Anyone copy? If you can hear me, I've located the base. I'm gonna try and get down there. Maybe they landed closer to the drop-off point. I gotta keep moving.
This planet looks a little inhospitable to me. I like the use of like basalt stacks. That's a geologic phenomenon that can happen on Earth. Not exactly like this though.
The capsules. Wait. What? That's impossible. They can't all be. Why? Makes no sense. Radiation wave? Now? Oh, shit. It's rising fast. I gotta get to the base.
I don't like radiation. Makes my bones tingly. It's a really big base.
The elevator. Quick. Come on. Come on. That was close. Hello? Anybody here? For a moment, I hope someone else made it. I need to find the comms room and get help.
Press tab to open base overview. So we are in the airlock, and we want the comms room, which is one floor up to the left. Holding shift and doing W and S allows you to go up and down.
Hello? Hello, can anyone hear me? Mayday! Mayday, anyone?
Audience voting. Whenever you're not sure which dialogue option to choose, or which altar to support, you can activate the Twitch vote option to let your viewers express their opinions. To do so, press V as in Victor when the voting prompt appears on the screen. You will always see the latest poll numbers. The voting will end the moment you make your choice. You aren't obligated to follow your viewers' most popular choice. The vote won't start automatically at the beginning of the next dialogue. You have to activate it yourself every time. I'm going to be leaving the major choices to you guys, but just to practice Twitch voting, let's do this one. There should be a companion app overlay on your screen, which allows you to choose. So one of the options is I'm not the captain, which is true. Jan Dolsky is not the captain. The captain was the first person in the pod that they found, or this is the new captain speaking. And then we can choose from there.
I'm here, but I'm not the captain. I'm just a builder. Jan Dolsky, corporate ID 4672B. The captain, the whole crew is gone. Hello? Can you get me out of here?
You're in imminent danger. Only more time remaining to survive.
What danger?
What do you mean? Remaining to what? Talk to me! What's the danger?
Planet activity rising. Smaller days remaining. Be lethal proximity. Here's instructions and logs.
Oh, no, don't you go all fuzzy on me. Lethal proximity. Oh, useless quantum nav system. Where the hell did it send us? Lethal proximity of what?
Glaze, Rhadamant before star approaching. This battle, you must escape. Proximity star in days.
You mean a star will come and burn this planet? And I just have days to escape? Is that right?
Affirmative. You're following sunrise.
Sunrise. Perfect. I need to find those captain's logs.
Follow the evacuation instructions in the manual. Hit tab to navigate to the manual to find logs. So on the top here, you can see that there is base overview, storage, tasks, and manual. Evacuation procedure. Welcome to the evacuation functionality manual. In case of an incident that jeopardizes your mission and the safety of your crew, please following the safety protocol and move the base to a safe location. Easier said than done. Refuel the base, manufacture necessary equipment, secure food supplies, and they will be tracked in our HUD. We're also in a triple star system, and the navigation is run by a quantum computer. All right, so right now we need to gather 60 metals from outside. If we hit tab, go to the base overview, we can see that the airlock is one floor down to the right. The radiation levels at night are deadly. Exiting the base is not currently permitted. You can rest in the captain's cabin until tomorrow. Okay. So, if we take a look, captain's cabin is down one floor to the left. Here it is. And in the captain's log, we also have the manufacturing necessary equipment, which allows us to build a workshop. And here is our bed. Now, on the bottom left of the screen, you can see the time of day. It is elapsing, so it's 10:08 p.m. And then below that is a radiation symbol. At some point every day, radiation levels outside climb dangerously, and being outside will harm you. And then if you work past sort of, let's say, curfew, you become increasingly more tired. So managing your morale, your radiation levels, your tiredness, and all of that is important for survival. But it's nap time. Day 2. Sunrise in 8 days. Sunrise is not a good thing. Energy. This is your energy bar. It shows how many hours you have before you get tired. Once you're tired, you'll still be able to work, but every task will take much longer. So let's gather metals outside. You can find shallow deposits on the planet's surface. They contain limited amounts of resources that can be extracted quickly. They can be recognized by red dust. Approach the deposit and interact with it. There's also a map function. The arrows are zones yet to be discovered. And then you can also see the structures that you've built and things of that nature.
That shiny rock might be a source of metals.
Now, I am fast-forwarding time when I dig here. This is I believe it's a gameplay setting. Or is it accessibility? Fast forward effect? Yes. And there we go. This deposit is empty. And I've extracted 60 metals from that shallow deposit. So let's get back inside and build a workshop via the command center. So the command center is just to our left. Open the build menu to see available modules. And the attachment points are marked by lights. So a workshop is a 4-wide object, and we can put the workshop right next to the command center if we'd like. In this case, I'm going to place it on the captain's cabin, and then move the captain's cabin beyond the communications room. Next thing it wants me to do is to craft a scanner. So in order to do that, to create an item, first schedule the work in the workshop queue, which is this thing. And it wants me to craft a scanner, which I click once. Every time you click it, it would craft multiples. Scanner is a tool, so you can only craft one of them, but a lot of things that you end up crafting multiples. Then afterwards, we go to the workbench and hold E to work, and it creates the scanner. So now we have scanners. Next task is to find an organics deposit area. So we're going back outside. All right, and the database opened up. Organics. Please ensure that the Seba base has enough fuel for the upcoming journey. In case of fuel shortages, locate and harvest organics on the surface of your planet. Blue smoke is a characteristic indicator of organic deposits. All right. So we did see that there was more shallow metals over this way. But that's not what we're after right now. We're after organics. And there is definitely some blue smoke over here indicating presence of organics. So there's a organics deep deposit over there, and these are surface organics that you can collect that doesn't require effort. In order to climb this wall, we would need a climbing hook.
Not yet. I'll have to find another way.
All right. So we can't climb here. This is a climb with a climbing hook. So let's try to find an alternative path.
What the hell? Could this be Rhadium? make sure.
Alright. Manual. Rhapidium. What is Rhapidium? First discovered accidentally by an ally corp, and that's who owns this base, by the way. Near space exploration vessel on the 842 Hermes asteroid passing Earth. Rhapidium revolutionized the way we think about accelerated growth. Called by its enthusiasts the time-traveling element or the savior element, it emits a unique type of radiation which can transfer raw energy directly into the mitochondria of organic cells, projecting matter into versions of itself, future self within hours instead of years. Why are we exploring the most distant corners of space to find it? The spice must flow, right? The answer seems obvious. Multiple research confirms that the potential of Rhapidium is almost limitless when it comes to infusing life to crops, even in the most challenging climate conditions, while reducing the time and resources needed to grow them to practically zero. The implications are immeasurable. Finding and collecting a substantial amount of Rhapidium will allow for the restoration of agriculture on Earth, putting an end to the global catastrophe of hunger. Ever since making this groundbreaking discovery, AlliCorp has become fully committed to bringing the savior element to Earth and makes continuous efforts to invest both in accelerated growth and space mining technologies, always proudly at the forefront of striving for the future of humanity, never falling back. So, when there are certain database elements that are particularly important to the gameplay and story, I'll read them. I'm not necessarily going to read everything, but knowing what Rhapidium is and what it can do is really paramount for this game.
I need to collect a sample.
Okay, so we collected a sample, and we're going to have to report our findings. Another thing to keep an eye on is the time of day.
Unbelievable. So the useless quantum nav system isn't that useless after all.
At 20 o'clock, night radiation sets in, and we become tired.
Except... I survived.
So now we're up here where the organics deposit is.
I should look for organics here.
Scanning. The scanner allows you to find resource deposits. By placing and connecting probes, you can uncover the concentrations of underground resources. Look at the scan ground and try to pinpoint the most intense red coloring. That's the deepest point of the deposit. So speaking about resources, and this isn't true of all resources, but most resources, you have really small deposits that you can pick up by hand instantly on the surface. You have shallow deposits, which are very time efficient but limited, and then you have deep deposits, which are time inefficient but unlimited. Let's go ahead and hold Q and start looking for the Rhapidium deposits. So the way it works is we put up our scanners and it reveals the deposit underneath, and I can hold right mouse and retract these scanners. So we're basically building large scanning polygons with multiple ground scanners, like an underground X-ray, if you will. And there we go. We found the greatest concentration, which is right there. Hold Q, and now build a mining outpost. And there it is. Pylons. We must construct additional pylons. Using pylons, you can connect mining outposts with the base. Each pylon automatically connects to nearby structures. You can see possible connections in the form of green lines when you have the pylon equipped. They must be connected to each other, place them in line, and connect the mining outposts with the base. So hold Q and construct pylons. So I'm trying to put it towards the base, and the first pylon I'm going to put here. And then let's jump down. We'll do a little rappelling. And you can see pylons have a certain range.
Can't believe it. If it really is repetitive. This could change everything. I need to report it.
They also require line of sight, if that wasn't already obvious. So, for instance, if a pylon doesn't have a line of sight like this, it won't connect. And that one was not close enough. So what I can do is I can look at it, hold right mouse button and retrieve it, and then put it a little closer. There we go. Well, I'm really bad at putting pylons down. Guess I'm a Terran then. And there we go. We have a full connection of pylons between the organics outpost and home. It also allows you to fast travel to the outposts. So I can look at this here, this symbol is the fast travel symbol, and fast travel directly over to the outpost. Like this. And then here I can work and collect organics. And it wants me to collect 180 organics gathered using the outpost. But I'm about to run out of time at end of day. So instead of continuing this, I'm going to spend the last bit of time before night radiation sets in, collecting some hand organics that are on the ground, and exploring my surroundings a little bit better. The other thing is, you can see there are icons for resources that you found for the shallow deposits and for potential deep deposits, but the really small deposits that you collect by hand don't create map icons. So, for instance, this little piece of metal is obviously not creating a map icon for it alone. And yes, you can fast travel both ways.
That looks like our ship's cargo drop.
The history of the universe.
It's filled with the crew's personal items, including my stuff.
And marked cards and a yerba mate kit.
Is that a movie? Huh. Alicorp even thought of entertainment at the base.
Alright, you can see that I am now tired.
This is one of the things they told me to take on the mission. Things that will make you feel comfortable far away from home. Objects that trigger good memories.
And I'm given the tutorial of tiredness versus exhaustion. You run out of energy, you become tired. In the state, physical work takes much longer. If you stay up until very late, you'll become exhausted. Each minute of exhaustion causes you to wake up later the next day. So basically, you can work when you're tired inefficiently, but you should probably not work unless it's urgent when you're exhausted, because you'll pay for it the following day. So avoid exhaustion when possible. All right, night radiation's coming in about 30 seconds. So I'll be retiring for the day in just a moment, or at least going inside, so that I don't get a free PET scan's worth of radiation blasted to my body. All right, we can report our findings. So in the bottom left here, if you hold left alt, well, I guess left alt is a key that you can hold later, but you can see that there's a little flashing phone, and that indicates that there is a comms offer.
Hello? Anyone copy? I went out to find resources, and I found a cave full of something. I think it might be Rapidium. You hear me? I think I found Rapidium.
You sure about that?
Am I sure? I don't know. Everyone is dead. The sun's coming. There's radiation everywhere. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Test it.
Test the Rapidium? How would I do that?
New blueprint provided. The womb.
A blueprint? The womb. You want me to build a womb?
Some sample of DNA provided.
Do you want me to agree, or do you want me to ask, who are you? What do you guys think? All right.
Who are you? The womb, huh?
Okay. Build
Nice
the
sample.
womb module.
I guess it makes sense. Rubidium speeds up organic growth.
Moving and removing modules. You can change the position of your modules wherever you like. Simply hover over the module and press left mouse. Got it. So, right now, they have two separate elevator shafts, which honestly makes no sense at all. So I'm going to unify the elevator shafts and put all the small storages at the bottom, because I don't really need to interact with the small storages. This is not a place that I need to be really at all. I'm going to put machinery next to workshop. I'll leave the airlock at the command center there, and let's drop the quantum computer down here. In order to build a womb, I need 40 metals. So I need to save up metals. Additionally, you can right-click modules and refund them. And then depending on how heavy your base is, that is also the fuel cost to be able to travel. So if you recall, I have a certain amount of days, as you can see down there, until the sun cooks me and I'm dead. And I need to build up my organic supply, which is essentially fuel, to get the hell out of here before I get cooked. So I don't at the moment have the materials for a womb module, but I will at some point. Alright, I don't have any more mining outposts. I do have some additional pylons, and I don't have a climbing hook, but I could hypothetically save up for one. Question for you guys, and this is when I'm going to be using the polling outside of the game. What should I do first? Womb, climbing hook, or save up fuel? There's three separate goals sort of vying for my attention, and you guys can choose between the three. So if we take a look at base navigation, the system is currently offline, and I need to build up the fuel to be able to move the base around. Alright, looks like you guys want me to save up to build the womb. Got it. So, it's basically end of day already. Let's see if there's anything else we could do before retiring. Workshop. No, I don't need any of that. Alright, we'll save up for the womb. The game saves when you wake up in the morning. That's your save point, and it won't save midday. Just a FYI. So we have 7 days to get out of here. So I know where there is a organics outpost, but there is some shallow metals here. So let's exploit the shallow metals to be able to build the womb. And I might as well exploit the entire shallow deposit. Before I return back to build the womb, if we can spot any more shallow metals or any collectible material, we ought to do that too. And in the bottom, you can see the resources I've got. So the first icon is metals. I have 101 of it. I know it's really small, but if you're using the Twitch overlay integration, you can also see my storage in there as well. Picked up a multi-tool.
Jeez, I packed a lot of stuff.
The next icon is Rhadamant, the thing that looks like a carbon nanotube. The next is a resource we haven't interacted with, so I'm not going to mention it just yet. Same with the one thereafter. After that is raw food, mush, and cooked. Well, I guess it says here minerals, enriched metals, raw food, mush, and cooked meals. And then you can also see how much of that takes up in your storage. Also considering storage is your mining stations and pylons as well. So reducing the amount that you're storing is very important in this game. Resource management is a very key factor. So let's get that womb going. Cheers. Build the womb, and let's put it next to the quantum computer. Actually, so the quantum computer only has a top attachment, only a bottom attachment point. There. So the womb is above us.
So
use DNA sample
built
in the womb.
Womb. Now, what could possibly come out of it?
Here goes. DNA sample. Pydium.
I'm starting to worry this wasn't such a good idea.
Oh. Of course. What else?
It's Rhadamant.
Oh. Yo, you need a name. I think I'm gonna call you Molly.
Let me see if I can't do something about the audio levels. Alright, and let's report the results.
Okay, I built the womb and tested the Rhadamant. The DNA sample provided was a little surprising, but it worked, I think. I cloned a sheep. Hello? Can you hear me? I have a sheep on board. You're responsible for 2 lives now.
Go. Successful. Really help with business.
Do you want to say, it's amazing, isn't it? Or will you help me now? Man, you guys are fast at voting. Alright.
Yeah. Now that I'm a real hero, I could use some real assistance.
You're in imminent danger. Only short time remaining to sunrise.
I know that. But I'm just a builder. I'm not trained to move the goddamn base all by myself.
The next most popular thing that you guys voted on is me getting a climbing hook. So let's go ahead and queue one up and manufacture it. Done. Now I got a climbing hook. Thank you for tuning in to The Altars, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. But please keep in mind I've asked for no backseating and no spoiler, so if you could respect that, that would be great. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it. as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow alters.